Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of the Philly Pod. It is November the 5th, 2016. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Dave. Dave, how you doing?
Not too bad, man. I'm not, at this moment in time, I am not feeling very good anymore about my Eagles division prediction.
I'm not either.
I think after that loss last week, the division title, the hopes for that are officially done.
Yeah, I think wild card is your best bet here from here on out.
I think so. I think if we're going to see playoff football this year in Philadelphia, it's going to have to be as a wild card.
Yeah, that means they probably have to go 7-3 the rest of the way in order to have a chance of that happening.
I think. I mean, well, they have to go 6-3.
Yeah,
6-3.
Thank
right.
you for that.
And never be a 10-6 finish for the year. The division, they're just too far behind for the division right now. They've lost the first two divisional games. Now they're 0-2. They have another one coming up this week with the New York Giants, which it's a must-win game. You can't fall to 0-3 in the division, which now being, if you lose this game, you go to 4-4, and you've lost to every single team in the division, who would then be ahead of you, not only in the division, but for the playoff race. So it is a must-win game for the Eagles. But their playoff chances going forward, I still think they have a good chance of making it. They got to win against the Giants. They've got some big games coming up. I'm bullish. I still can see them making a playoff run.
I do too. I think it's all about execution, which we'll get into later from last week. But I think they've got to execute on both defense and offense if they're going to have an opportunity to make the playoffs this year.
See, the thing that's concerning, they got to execute on both sides of the ball, but we're starting to see some things happen now with the head coach that, frankly, are starting to concern me. And when I looked at the way that at the end of the Eagles-Cowboys game, like there are some things that were just really, really alarming. And like the decision not to kick a 53-yard field goal there. Now, you guys have probably heard all this stuff out there already. Obviously, this podcast comes out a week afterwards. But it's still things that we need to talk about. Because it applies directly to Doug Pederson, whether or not he can be a successful head coach,
or even the decision not to use his timeouts, on a 3rd and 21 at the end of the game.
Let's talk about those things.
You've got a dangerous return man, Darren Sproles. Why not use him?
I don't understand the explanation there. Was that his explanation was they would only get the ball back with 10 or 15 seconds.
Okay, he shanks one. What if he shanks it?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That. He says he did the math in his head. I would question what his grades were, in math all throughout school. Because if that's the case, my man Dougie P can't. He's failing algebra, geometry. He's failing all those things right now.
I mean, Deshaun Jackson, 2010, or the Miracle Lands Part 2.
These legitimate criticisms of Doug Pederson right now.
It took him, 10 seconds to get into that end zone?
It was awkward. You let 30-something seconds run off the clock, and the Cow. I mean, they're more than happy to go into overtime at that point.
I threw my hands up. I'm like, what are you doing? You got to use your timeouts. You got 3 of them.
That was odd. That was an odd situation. There was an explanation that, frankly, was given that did not make a lot of sense. And really the bigger one for me was the fact when he had Caleb Sturgis made a 55-yard field goal just before the half. 55-yard field goal he made. Mm-hmm. And in the fourth quarter, you now have a chance, whatever. Play calling we're not going to get into. I don't like the Monday morning quarterback with that stuff. And the play took him by, borderline field goal range. It was only a 53-yard field goal attempt. Would have put you up by 10 points. Doug Pederson decides to turn around and punt the football back to the Cowboys with only a 7-point lead. Now, to me, that's a fatal error. Mm-hmm. You had a guy who made a 55-yard field goal earlier in the game. What's the harm in letting them try one for 53? You go up by 10 points there, game's over.
Yep.
Game's over.
Yeah.
Again, his reasoning was because he believed in the defense.
Yo.
If he really believed in the defense, which is his excuse, he would have had no problem giving them a short field to work with.
Yeah.
That was more, to me, it showed more a lack of confidence in your team than anything else.
Yeah.
Now, he's been aggressive. Doug Pederson's done some really, really good things throughout this Eagles season in the first year as a head coach, but these were a couple things that alarmed me. more so than any in-game adjustments, any mistakes there, any mistakes made play calling. These were alarming mistakes to me, and I'm looking at this from the big picture.
Yeah, and then it was in the fourth quarter. You throw the ball backwards instead of taking a shot a short throw down the field. Chance, you're in field goal range already.
But let's not focus too much on
Right.
the Cowboys game, and the play calling there. We're just talking more about the mistakes that have been made, and it's things that. And here's what I'm getting at when we talk about the time management issues. Are these things that are mistakes? Are these just mistakes of a rookie head coach, or is this a sign of a bigger problem for the Philadelphia Eagles in that these are fatal flaws? Like how Andy Reid had fatal flaws with managing timeouts and failing to make in-game adjustments. Is this just a rookie head coach, or are these going to be legitimate issues going forward?
I think it's a rookie head coach. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I think it's just he's a new head coach. He's got to learn. He's got to take the bumps along the way. Now, if you're for 3 years into this process and he's still doing this, yeah, I'd be concerned. But I think as a young head coach, you got to learn that you've got to learn time management. And I think it's just a rookie mistake here, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
See, my thing is, it's a rookie mistake. Okay, he's been playing football his whole life.
Yeah.
He's been playing since Pee Wee. He played in high school. He played in college. Played at the NFL level. He's coached all levels. And really, now at 49 years old, you're just going to start to learn time management. You should know that now at this point, you're going to learn, hey, call a timeout with 30 seconds left in the game. We might get a punt return. We might get a penalty. Now, see, that's alarming to me. And I don't like to jump in and get emotional reactions. But right now, I am left questioning whether or not Doug Pederson can be a legitimate head coach in this league making decisions like that. I mean, I look back to the time management gap that we had in the Patriots-Chiefs game and their ridiculous justification for that. And that's starting to click in my head. Well, maybe this is going to be something that we see. Maybe these are mistakes we're going to continually see from Doug Pederson. Because that's sort of thinking.
No.
If that's legitimately what was going on, then that concerns me. If he legitimately thought there would only be a handful of seconds left and that 15 seconds don't matter. Yeah. That is a fatal flaw as a coach. That time, you don't know what can happen. That's the point. You don't know what can happen in those 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And it could happen this week against the Giants. It might happen next week, or this week coming up when you're listening to this. It might happen this week against the Falcons. You don't know. Yeah. So I have major concerns now about Doug Pederson's ability to lead this team.
Yeah, you made a lot of good points there, Dave. Obviously, when you think of time management, you think of Deshaun Jackson making that kick and return against the Giants a couple years ago.
Right.
And Darren Sproles, and he's a good returner. So is Josh Huff. But was. Yes, was.
We'll get to that in a little bit, yeah.
But you're right. You are right. It's you got to learn clock management. You gotta. As a head coach, there are a lot of things going on in your head. I think there are a lot of things as a head coach that go on in your head.
Yeah, but dude, honestly, I know time management, and I play Madden. Okay, I just play Madden football, and I feel I can do an okay job managing the clock. I'm doing the same things, calling timeouts or whatever, and you do it too.
Yeah.
So to me, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for not knowing when to take a timeout and not to in a game. That's a joke to me. And maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is something that he needs to learn. But for me, I'm concerned. I'm highly concerned about Doug Pederson now going forward.
And you have every right to be.
Now, that was not the only thing that went down this past week about the Eagles and Doug Pederson. And, yeah, we just mentioned Josh Huff. And everybody knows by now that the Josh Huff situation, he was pulled over on the Walt Whitman Bridge for speeding. And in the car, the police officer found marijuana and an unlicensed firearm in New Jersey. And bottom line, Josh Huff's going to be going to jail.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, a strange situation that they had here. Initially, they said they weren't going to take any action until all the facts were in and that he was going to play this past week against the Giants. And then they turned around the next day, Thursday after saying that, and then they turn around and cut him. Strange situation going on here. And just a couple of things, right off the top of my head, all the people defending Josh Huff, I don't understand what there is to defend here, Mike.
Yeah.
Pretty cut and dry. He had marijuana in the car. Okay, illegal. He had an unlicensed firearm in the car. Illegal. Like, he broke the law. This is an open and shut case.
And the excuse that followed is more funny. That it's ridiculous. I gotta protect my family. Like, all right, you legally purchase a gun and you protect your family.
Well, remember, it was he had a license for it in Texas. He didn't have it. He didn't have it in New Jersey, which it's still illegal in Jersey. Yeah. Okay, but listen, That's your right as an American citizen. You want to have a legal firearm, you think, to protect yourself, that's fine. But the hollow tip bullets, what the heck do you need that for?
Yeah.
I mean, you plan on coming up with people with what is it? I can't think of the word.
The vest?
The bulletproof vest. Yeah, you plan on coming across many people like that? I don't understand the need for that, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the comments afterward, like what he doesn't know of an NFL player that doesn't own a gun.
That's not true.
Are you serious?
He's ridiculous.
I don't get it. So the Josh Huff defenders, I don't understand it. Now, would the situation be a little bit different and say it was Carson Wentz who got pulled over in this situation? Would we be talking a little bit differently about it? Yeah, all right. Truthfully, we probably would. Yeah. But Josh Huff is someone who was expendable.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. That's just a fact of the matter.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that concern me here about this situation, and I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, Mike. The Eagles, eventually, when they're all said and done, they cut him, got rid of him, released him. Was that the right decision?
Yes. However, it was the right decision, but I think it was after all the backlash that they received from fans around the area and across the nation. I think that's why they cut him, because it was a black eye to them and a black eye to the city.
Yes.
I think that is the only reason why they ended up cutting him, because of the backlash. They wanted to save face, and that's why they made that haste decision.
You're probably dead right. You're probably dead right on that. And I look at it like the first thing they turn around and say, well, hey, we're going to work through Josh with this. We don't have, we want to get all the facts, but he's going to play Sunday. And they took a lot of heat for that, and rightfully so, because I don't know how you could justify letting him play, given these are serious charges. He's going to jail. New Jersey has very, very tough, very strict gun laws, so there's no doubt he's going to serve jail time, which is a whole separate thing now issue for him. But now they turn around the next day and they cut him, which I'm inclined to agree with you. They saw all the social, the backlash that was going on. They saw how this was being perceived, and I think they made a reactionary decision to cut him.
Because, stories these days on social media, they spread like wildfire. When something like this happens, it spreads like wildfire.
Which is why I don't understand why they didn't take some sort of action to begin with when this first broke.
They must be messed up in the head or something. Because that's stories break like wildfires these days. They do, and once it's out there, it's out there.
That's what I don't understand.
Neither do I.
What did they think? This is just going to go away, and everybody's going to be okay? Well, all right, Josh Huff's going to play Sunday. It's not like that anymore.
No,
the league's different today.
No, this isn't 1996.
No, it's not. No, you're right. It's not 1990. It's not 1966 anymore, where we can just do a little sweep job.
Yeah.
This stuff's out there now.
Yep.
And they're going to get hammered for it, and they got hammered for it, and they should have.
Yep.
They should have taken some action and not allowed him. And now initially came out and said, "Well, he's going to play." Now, eventually, they did the right thing. But I'm with you. I'm not sure this came from the place of, well, we believe this is the right decision.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think this is more they were gonna let him play. They found some, I don't know, maybe they found new details, maybe they did. I'm not sure. There have been conflicting reports on that. But yeah, I think this was just totally reactionary decision to what was out there through the media and whatnot.
Yeah, I can't defend management here. I think you look at how, you look at the situation. He was speeding, marijuana, and an unlicensed.
Dude, it's cut and dry.
Yeah.
This is open and shut.
Yep.
There's no defense here.
No.
There's no defense.
No.
There's an illegal, unregistered firearm in New Jersey. I mean, that's it. And the reports are saying that he had it on the Eagles' premises. Okay, yeah, that now it wasn't actually in the building, but he had it in his car in the parking lot, which is on the premises, it's against the law and it breaks the CBA. So this is an open and shut case. Anybody defending now Josh Huff out there, you got to get some facts.
Yeah.
Okay, this is as open and shut, clear cut as it gets.
That's crazy to think that he had it on the premises. I mean, why would you need a gun on the premises to begin with? I mean, you're afraid of getting mugged by someone? I mean, it's like, what's the thinking there?
Well, I mean, professional athletes are targeted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But then, when you're that well off, hire a security guard.
Yeah.
Hire somebody for that.
I mean, you had the money.
You're just not going to convince me. Whatever. It's your right to own a gun. Okay? I'm not going to take anything away from that. You can't convince me you need hollow point bullets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to sway me. Any way you want to throw that at me, you don't need that.
No.
I'm sorry. I don't get it.
No, neither do I.
I understand. But the thing is, like with the gun, it's a security guy. It's a security blanket for a lot of guys.
Yeah,
makes you feel like, all right, like a big man sort of thing.
Yeah, I can understand that, but it just, I don't know.
No, I don't understand the mindset.
No,
but you have Doug Pederson coming out saying he's going to play, and then the next day Harry Roseman and whoever made the decision they were going to cut him. I assume that's Harry Roseman's decision. So now I'm looking at it here. Like, was Doug Pederson undermined here? Was Doug Peterson's original plan to let him play, getting all the facts, and Harry Roseman came in, or Jeffrey Lurie came in and said, man, can't go down like this?
I would hope so. I would hope that the
So you would hope the head coach was undermined here.
Yeah. I would hope that upper management, didn't know about this, and then, they found out and, they stopped this from going any further than it should have.
Now, was it a situation where they just legitimately weren't sure what they were going to do yet? They didn't have all the. I don't know how you didn't have all the facts for what they're claiming, and they threw Doug out there, let Doug do his thing, and now they get more facts in quotes, and now turn around the next day and release them.
Yeah.
If that's the situation, well, then they totally threw Doug Pederson under the bus there. So I'm asking, so what's the more likely situation that happened here?
I would hope that again. That's a tough situation. That is a tough situation to put yourself in. I would honestly hope that it was a case of ownership not knowing, and then
maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't realize how serious it was. I don't know how. I don't know how that's possible. In which case, shame on them, because they rolled Doug Pederson out there, let him take all the hits, and now he looks bad in front of the media.
It's a screwed up situation.
Yeah, they just butchered this from the start. They should have just did something. They should have deactivated them. Whatever. Yeah. They should have done something as soon as they immediately found out with this, because now this would give them time to gather all the facts.
Yes.
And they butchered it. They just, whatever way you look at, whatever really happened, whether they knew or were going to let it go or they didn't know and they were waiting, they butchered this situation. Now they eventually got it right, but now you have all this negative PR going on. Yeah, that's what you don't need right now going into the Giants week.
It's a black eye. That's all this is a black eye to the Eagles organization, the team, and this coaching staff. It's just a big black eye.
So assuming, and for this, I'm just going to say, assuming here that Doug Pederson was originally going to let him play. We don't know that's the case, but we're just now talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
If that was the case, does that make Pederson too soft?
It does.
Now this is the third incident now.
It does.
Since he's taken over.
It does. I think he's got to toughen up. He's got to toughen up. There's a difference between being a player's coach and being a person that knows right from wrong. And this was completely wrong. Completely wrong in all three, in both aspects. To let him play after knowing that he's done.
They got it right. Let's stress that. Okay, they did make the right decision.
Yes.
We're just more concerned about it wasn't done right away.
No.
We're not saying you have to cut him right away if you don't want to do that, if you do want to legitimately find out the facts. But, you have to – I think you had to do something, like we said, deactivate him, suspend him for a game, whatever, it would have been nice to see something done right away there. But you say he is too soft.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not – well, let me ask you this. Regardless of whether or not he was going to let him play – whatever. Is Doug Pederson too soft? Because we had a couple incidents, not quite to this extent before, but we've had a couple incidents with some off-field situations where people have been disciplined. Is he too soft?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to discipline him. You've got to. If it's, a fine and a suspended a game or, suspending him indefinitely, you've got to do something.
Well, we're talking about. So, what are you're talking about the Josh Huff situation right now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking remove that Josh Huff situation. Take this out of play because we don't know exactly what didn't happen here. Is Doug Pederson too soft to be a head coach? You had the Nigel Bradham incidents happen, during the season, one over the summer. Nothing. There's really no discipline issue there. Is he too soft?
Yes. If something like this happens, you got to suspend the player, regardless of who he is.
No, that's not. No, that's not. I'm telling you to remove the Josh Huff situation and look at the other things that we've seen. Okay, the Nigel Bradham things. Going off of that, is he too soft? It looks that way. It looks that way. Nigel Bradham didn't get any discipline that we know of. So what we've seen on face so far, I think Doug Pederson is a little too soft on these guys. He's talking about being a father figure. These guys and nurturing them. And okay, but there comes a point where they need some discipline.
Yes.
And the Josh Huff situation removed. So far we've had some incidents already, and
he's got to come down. He's got to come down on anyone that does something like this. And Bradham's a perfect example. You got to come down on players that don't follow the rules. It's like being a father. You got to nurture them, but you also have to teach them discipline.
Yeah, if he really means that, right, you got to instill some sort of discipline. And so right now, to this point, I haven't seen that from Doug Pederson. So, and again, more reason for now I'm concerned about the guy going forward. And these might all just be, maybe he legitimately does need to learn this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It could be. That's a little alarming that it's taken them to this point. But maybe it is just mistakes of a rookie head coach. I don't think so. I'm starting to doubt whether or not this guy has what it takes.
I would hope these are just rookie mistakes.
I wasn't and I said on this podcast when we first started, I was very underwhelmed by the Doug Pederson hire. Saw him in the regular season, and he did some good things, play calling wise and making adjustments. And I thought, all right, maybe. But now there are some other areas that come with being a head coach that he's messing up on that I'm concerned with. And then we talk about stuff in the locker room too. Like you got players coming out, and like Malcolm Jenkins makes the comment. He thinks that it's more of a distraction that they cut Huff than Huff's arrest itself. Which, okay, you want to think that, you want to say that, fine, but you can't say that.
No.
Which now tells me there are guys in the locker room who think it's wrong what happened to Josh Huff. I mean, I can't say enough. This is such a simple case here.
Yeah. It's cut and dry, too.
It is. That got me thinking. Like, did the Eagles really have, did the Eagles have players with the right mentality to be able to win a Super Bowl? Obviously, they're not going to do that this year. But I'm looking down the road. Do they have people right now? Do they have players with the right mindset? And I'm just going to name some examples here, things that alarm me. You have the Josh Huff situation. Mm-hmm. Okay, that whole thing right there, and then his comments. I don't know an NFL player that doesn't own a gun. Then you have Nelson Aguilar, who after the Dallas game asked about his drop. He said, "I'm tired of hearing about drops." Mm-hmm. And you have that right there. And then you have Malcolm Jenkins coming out and saying this about Josh Huff being a distraction. And do we have players right now who have the right mentality, right mindset to win Super Bowls?
No, we don't. We don't. And it's ironic because all three of those guys mentioned, and I don't like bringing this guy up, but these were all Chip Kelly decisions. Interesting. Just interesting.
Well, it's ironic. It's funny with Chip that he gets rid of Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy for off-the-field concerns. And the guy he drafts, Josh Huff, has just been released for an off-the-field situation.
Yeah.
Very ironic situation.
Very ironic indeed. And I just find that funny that this is a Chip Kelly guy. You know, I know we don't want to mention him, but just finding that ironic.
But do we have? I mean, we have a lot of. We have a lot of guys right now that just are not. They're not good NFL players.
Nope.
Okay, Josh Huff wasn't, so you're not really losing anything there. Nelson Aguilar sucks.
He does.
Okay,
he does.
Let's get real. Nelson Aguilar is not a good. He's not a good football player.
No.
So he's not going to be here. He might not even be here next year. Those comments after the Dallas game may have expedited the process to getting rid of him. So I look at that I look at the people who are saying these things like Huff and Aguilar, like they weren't going to be contributors anyway. So I'm not too surprised. Honestly, I'm not too surprised to hear them saying the things that they've said because it tells me something about their mindset as players. Okay, and like Aguilar saying he's not worried about drops and that whatever. That's concerning to me. That tells me that you don't have your stuff together mentally, which translates to you being able to get your stuff together physically on the field.
That's a poor mentality to carry.
It is.
If you're not concerned about your drops and you're telling me you're tired of hearing about it, then quit dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Quit dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And it won't be an issue anymore.
And is this telling us anything we didn't already know? Like, no, we know they weren't going to win the Super Bowl this year. We know they have obvious holes.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins, I'm surprised. I was a little bit surprised to hear him say that. It might, he feels that way. Okay, fine, but you can't come out and say that because now you're implying that Josh Huff should be on the team.
Yeah.
And Josh Huff messed up.
It's funny because Malcolm Jenkins, I think of him as one of the leaders on this team.
He is. He is one of the leaders on the defense. So I would hope there's a conversation that he takes across with the young guys and says, hey, listen, Josh messed up. And this is something that if you do this, the same thing's going to happen to you. I would hope that leadership role steps up. I just didn't like hearing that. I just thought it sounded bad coming from one of your team leaders. Yeah. But another big week in sports, though, man. Moving along. You finally how about the Cubbies?
Congrats to them, man.
Congrats to the Cubs.
I think it's been way well overdue for them to win a World Series.
108 years. That was so cool to see. I watched. Now that Game 7 was awesome. That's arguably the best baseball game ever played. That's arguably the best World Series of all time.
I would agree. By the way, just a real quick throwing this out there.
Yeah.
Did you know that Chicago they dyed the water blue?
They what?
They dyed the water blue.
They dyed the water blue.
Yeah, they dye it green.
I did not hear this.
Yeah, they dyed it green every year for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
They dyed it blue because the Cubs won the World Series.
That's awesome.
It is.
But what do you mean? They make the drinking water?
No, there's a river out there. There's a river out there that they have, and they dye it blue.
Oh, that's cool.
It is. And
that's cool.
I could throw you a picture out there so you could post it on the.
Yeah, do that. That's cool, man. But good for them. That city, those fans, they deserve that.
Yeah, and now you're probably just waiting on the Bears now to win another championship.
Yeah, they got ways to go.
Yeah.
I got bad news for Chicago Bears fans.
But
you're looking at probably another dynasty. That might be the next dynasty in sports with the Cubs. They're young. They just won the World Series now. Like, they are going to be good for a long time.
You're talking six of their starters are under the age of 24.
That's scary.
That's
scary, dude. That team's going to be good for a long time.
Always
going to have some competition. They're going to have some difficulties getting back there because the Cubbies are going to be.
I think that you're looking at a dynasty there.
Yeah, you might. You might be. That's. I don't throw that word around lightly, but there's a possibility the Cubs could go on a real run here now.
Now, the only thing that I would be concerned about if I'm a Cubs fan is free agency, because players can test the market.
Yeah.
But luckily, these players are young, so you don't have to worry about that right now.
No, but it's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah.
You got to wonder whether or not they're going to be able to take care of all the people they want to take care of.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to.
No.
They're going to have to make some tough decisions, like we saw the Phillies have to do. But they're going to be good. There's no doubt they're going to be good for a while.
I'm happy for those fans. They've dealt with a lot of stuff, a lot of crap, and I'm glad that they finally got their World Series.
Yeah, man, you had the Steve Bartman stuff like that. All that's washed away. Just like when the Red Sox won in 2004.
Yeah, the curse of Bambino.
All that stuff is forgotten. It's forgiven, which is good. You know, they needed that.
The curse of the goat.
Yeah, man. The Billy Goat curse, Steve Bartman, now all those other things are now all washed.
Yes.
Yeah. But
so that brings us to our next topic.
Yeah, what's up?
What Philadelphia sports team is going to win a championship next? Who will end their drought?
Who ends their drought first? Oh man. Well, I don't think Flyers yet. The Flyers got major. They have major issues between the pipes right now. So they're a while away. Until they fix that, they're not doing anything. The Phillies are nowhere close. They might still be 4 or 5 years off. So it's between it's between the 76ers or the Eagles. And right now, I would probably have to lean the 76ers. Because if Joel Embiid stays healthy, you got a difference maker there. You got Ben Simmons going to be coming back healthy. You have two legit pieces there. Now, obviously, you need to get some guards. You need to get some shooters to put around them. But that's tough. If I had to, if I had to bet, I would say the 76ers win one first.
You see, I would agree on one team, but not the other.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the Flyers or the 76ers. And I'll tell you why. You've got a lot of young talent coming up. You shouldn't be surprised because I've known you for about 10 years now, so you really shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But to me, the Flyers, if you get the goaltending situation straightened out, adding the young talent, they're closer than I think you realize.
Dude, they need to fix. I'm sorry, Neuwirth and Mason both stink.
They do, but I'll tell you what: if they get this goaltending situation and the defense situation fixed, they are the third highest scoring team in the league right now.
Okay, but they can't stop. You can't stop teams from scoring.
True, but
either way.
But if you get the goaltending situation figured out, you got yourself a chance.
Yeah, I agree with. You know, it's one of the most important positions in sports. I put it number 2 behind quarterback.
I would agree.
Goalie is number 2 most important position in sports.
Speaking of goalies,
yeah,
Al Montoya of the Montreal Canadiens, the team the Flyers played tonight, gave up 10 goals last night to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
That's a rough night at the office.
Yeah, he stopped 30 of 40 shots.
Why did they leave him in?
I've got no clue.
Man, they totally hung that guy out to dry.
I don't get that because usually a goalie gives up 5 goals, you pull him. 4 or 5 goals, you pull him.
Man,
10 goals.
That's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad.
That
dude.
is very bad.
Holy cow, man. Well, maybe we'll get lucky when the Flyers play the Habs, so we'll get lucky and Price will have an off game like that.
Yeah.
Flyers, man, 3 wins in a row. As of this recording, I don't know what it's going to be look like when you guys listen to us, but as of this recording, they got 3 wins in a row.
I'll take it.
Good.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
And not to mention 2-0 in shootouts.
Yeah, that's nice to see too. But we gotta move it along here. Coming up now, we have grind time. Mike's got another grind for us here. Apparently, he's still ticked off about some things. Mike, you're up, man. Grind time. What do you got for us?
It's SEPTA again. Well, who else would it be but SEPTA? You're talking about you have 2 years to get this deal done, and you don't. You wait till July of this year to try to get the deal done, and now because you're not happy about the deal not getting done, you're blocking regional rail workers from getting to their trains and thus canceling regional rail trains. What the heck? What the heck?
I have no idea. What were they thinking blocking the rails?
You got an entire city to take care of. Trains were canceled. Trains were late. And SEPTA is not good to begin with. Let's just start there. But when you're talking about train cancellations because people are not happy about the union or because of SEPTA and whatever issues they might have, give me a break. All right? Give me a break. Do your job. It's like Bill Belichick would say, do your job.
Oh, man, I feel you. I got caught up in that mess on Tuesday. Ugh. I was standing in line for about 45 minutes. Ugh. I don't understand I know what they were trying to do. They figure we'll block the rails. SEPTA has to make a deal with us now. We're gonna piss them off. They're gonna get mad. Well, now all he did, he just ticked off SEPTA because what they did by blocking the rails was illegal.
Yeah,
couldn't do it. So the courts had to step in. Now all he did was tick off SEPTA, and he ticked off the public. So who's on your side now?
No one.
I don't know what they're. I think that's something that backfires on them. But man, it's been a rough couple of months for SEPTA. You had the trains all go out of service, and now they just started to get caught up with that. That was running well, and now this.
Yeah.
Now you're just thrown into the mix. Where do you get the train? You get the train in Suburban?
Yeah, Suburban.
That's where I am. that is a zoo down there, rush hour. They have the line set up. That is bad.
To quote my dad, it's like cattle. They're like cattle down there. Now, I'm fortunate because my train, I get the train at 7, so it's not as bad as rush hour traffic. So I'm a little lucky. But yesterday, I ended up waiting 15 minutes for a train.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm on my feet all day. I work in a mail room. For those that don't know, I work in a mail room. I'm on my feet all day, and now I gotta stand up, wait for the train to come, and it's 15 minutes late. I'm tired. I go out the door at 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. every morning, and I gotta stand on my feet an extra 15 minutes to wait for a train.
It's just annoying.
Give me a break.
Yeah, SEPTA's. It's been a bad year for SEPTA.
Yeah, but that's my grind.
So here's grind time for you. Now coming up, it's time for The Buzz, where we bring you wacky, crazy news stories, headlines from all over the globe. And we're going to keep it true to that today, Mike.
Yes.
We are going global. Global, yes, sir, with The Buzz. We're going to start off, we're going to go overseas. We're going to England, Leicester, England, where this happened a couple days ago. Okay, apparently, in Leicester, England, police were called to a Wilko's store. Which is like a little like farmer's market sort of place, all right? Police were called to a local Wilko's store in Leicester, England, about concern, and they were called for concern about a man on the premises.
Huh.
Well, the issue was, apparently the man walked into the Wilko, went to the electrical aisle, the electrical tools aisle.
Yeah.
Grabbed a pair of bolt cutters.
Oh boy.
Cut off his big toe.
Ow!
And began eating it standing in the aisle.
Oh my God, that's gross.
Police were called in. The man was taken to the hospital with the obvious injuries to his foot.
Oh my God, that's gross. That's gross. I mean, dude, that's not just gross. That's painful and gross.
I mean, there's not very much out there else about them. But I would think something was a little bit off with this individual.
Yeah. Wow. Like, what was he thinking?
Something's not firing. You got some synapses that aren't working up there.
Oh my God, that hurts, and that hurts, and that's
maybe
gross.
it's on PCP. One of those PCP induced. Apparently they say you don't feel pain when you're going on that. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
And then we're gonna keep it again. Then we're gonna go on over to a different continent now. We're going to Tokyo.
Oh, Japan.
To Tokyo, Japan. Yes, sir. All right, where there was an incident that took place in a Tokyo hospital. Okay. Now, doing a routine surgery on a female patient. Mm-hmm. A female patient was having a laser surgical procedure done on her cervix.
Yeah.
All right? But apparently, the laser ignited, causing a fire when the patient farted.
Oh, God.
And this ignited the laser and turned it into a big fire. And apparently, it caused a fire in the surgical room. And apparently, the patient suffered burns to her body, her waist, and her legs as a result.
Oh, that's bad.
That is bad.
How? Wow. You fart during the surgery, and then the laser ignites.
Now, apparently, they think they say there are no flammable materials or flammable objects in the surgical room, but the people in the hospital believe there may have been something else to it. They say it's not uncommon for gastrointestinal gas. They say it's possible it could ignite the laser, but they believe there are other circumstances at play.
Wow. That is nuts.
Can you wait? Now I assume she was. Well, maybe she wasn't knocked. If she was under anesthesia, like, can you fart while you're knocked out like that?
I want to know.
Is that possible?
You know, next time if I ever have to have surgery, I'm going to ask. Did I fart during surgery? Did you remember if I farted during surgery? Because I want to know. I'm curious.
I guess now you want to know.
Yeah.
In case you have to go in for laser procedures.
I think I'm going to ask my doctor, my cardiologist, the next time I go down there. Like, is it possible for you to fart during surgery?
Well, how about ask if it's possible to do it while you're under anesthesia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely will.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh man. There you go. There's the buzz for this week. Wacky, crazy headlines from around the world.
Yeah.
Got to move it along. Coming up now, the pick segment. Mike went 1-1 last week. I went 2-0. Had 2-0 week, and this week I put a play out there on Thursday Night Football. We got it out on Facebook and Twitter. I had the Atlanta Falcons at -4, covering the 4 points against the Bucks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That makes me 5-1 now in my last 6 games.
And if we want to throw it out a little further than that, he's now 6-1 after I decided to go with the Red Wings on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, what did I tell you about that game? I thought that was a Flyers line.
That's another sandwich that I owe, by the way, in case you weren't following.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for that acknowledgement. Yeah. All right, so here come your locks of the week, the Philly Pod locks of the week. I mentioned I already took the Atlanta Falcons at -4 on Thursday night. One other game I love this week. You got a big divisional game in the AFC North. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, back and healthy, traveling to Baltimore. Yet, with Big Ben playing, Steelers are only 1.5 favorites against the Baltimore Ravens on a 4-game losing streak. Give me the Baltimore Ravens to win that game.
Wow.
Win that game, even with Ben Roethlisberger staying healthy.
Wow.
How you like that one? How you like that one?
I like that. That's gutsy.
And I'm taking the Ravens in our pool, too, this week.
You know what? I thought about that, too. I thought about taking the Ravens. But
You like that pick?
I like it. I like it.
I love that matchup.
I liked it, but
week.
I stayed away from that pick.
All right. All right, what do you got this week,
Well,
Mike?
we're going to Minnesota. The NFC North. An NFC North showdown between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. NFC North games are tough. Any divisional game is tough. The Minnesota Vikings are favored by 6 points.
Ooh, that's a Vikings line. That's a Vikings line.
It is. Mm-hmm. But I don't see them cover. I don't see them covering that situation.
Okay.
Give me the Detroit Lions at +6.
All right, so that's a cover. That's a cover for the Lions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we're going to head down south to South Beach, Miami, where we've got the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets. The Miami Dolphins are favored by 4.
Okay.
But I don't see that happening. Give me the New York Jets to cover at +4.
All right. Now, that's just a cover? You think the Jets could win that, or?
I got them covered.
Oh, you got them covering. So both are covers.
Yes.
All right. Now, those are not bad plays in the division games.
Yes.
All right, so there you go. I already they're your locks of the week. I already had the Falcons at -4 on Thursday. I like Baltimore at plus 1.5 at home against the Steelers. Mike's got the Lions covering the 6 against Minnesota, and the Jets covering the 4 at Miami.
Yes.
All right, so there are your locks of the week. All right, moving on. We have shout-outs. Had another really good week. Good week on Twitter, and got some good things going on Facebook as well there, Mike. Good job by you.
I'm going to say it right now. Thank you for all the support. I know we say it at the end, but thank you this week for all the support. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah,
we definitely do.
We definitely do. So we're going to start out on Twitter. I'm going to kick it off. Going to give shout-out to Charisse at Philly Love, Mike Ferry, Brian Duffy, Captain Sportsball. Didn't know, Captain's out there. Captain Sports Ball, okay.
Right.
Steve Rubin, Robert Airy, and Bagman15. Then on SoundCloud, we're going to give a shout-out to Linda Mitchell, one of our new SoundCloud followers. Yes. Guys, thank you so much for all your support there.
And on Facebook, we got 7 likes this week.
Ooh.
Alvin McCullen, Sensational Vibes, Hakeem James, Diamond Matthews, Natalie Amalia Greenleaf, Jess Meehan, and Herman Hollis.
So thank you guys, all of you, for your support.
Yes.
Yeah, spread the word. We're on Twitter at the Philly Pod. Like us on Facebook.
iTunes for free.
Yeah, for free. That's right. Free downloads on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud as well, and YouTube. So we have a lot of avenues out there for you guys to be able to check us out. But spread us out, listen to some episodes, and spread the word. We appreciate everything you guys are doing for us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, we got to wrap it up here, Mike, real quick. When most people listen to this, the Giants game will come and gone. Give me straight up. Eagles or Giants, who you got?
Eagles.
I like the Eagles, too. I like the Eagles in this matchup. I think all that stuff with the Josh Huff thing It's been distracting, but I think that's actually going to serve as a rallying cry for them. And I like the Eagles in this matchup. The Giants are a mess offensively.
Yeah.
Big mismatch with the wide receivers and the corners, but I think you have a bigger mismatch on the Giants' offensive line with the Eagles' D-line. So I like the Eagles. So we both got the Eagles. 5-3 halfway through.
By the way, real quick, how
Yeah.
about Big V? He's been stepping up lately.
Yeah, you know what? I ripped him pretty hard. We both ripped
Yes.
Big B pretty hard on here. And Vaitai has actually done a really nice job the last 2 games.
Could have just been first game generous.
It might have been. And we haven't even noticed him the last 2 games,
Yeah.
which is a great thing for an offensive lineman.
Yes.
So definitely got to give some love to Vaitai. Good call on your part.
Yes.
He's been better. Anyway, we got to sign off. We'll catch you guys next week. Another edition of the Philly Pod.
Yes.
I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
Catch you guys later.
Later.